So now, as we are done with the introduction of Python and installation of Python, now let us get into this course. So before going into this course, let us know a few things about Python. So I'm just going to start from the basic definitions and some syntaxes. Okay. So firstly, we have data types. Now what does the data type mean over here? Okay. So I just have written a definition saying that data type is a type of data enabled to a particular field. Now, you might have a question like, what is exactly this? Okay. So this is something like a language to a computer so that the computer understand what a user wants. Okay. Now, like as we have noticed or we know that communication is very important. So while communicating, we are making the use of languages. In the similar way, for a computer to understand, it is using some data types. Okay. Now these data types are storing some values so that these values can be processed anywhere throughout the program. Now let us come to data types. Okay. They are numbers, string, list, tuple, and dictionary. So numbers. Now we all know what are numbers. They are what we are learning from since our childhood. We all know that. So now these numbers can be of different types. They are the integers, float, complex. So what does the integer mean? Integer basically means it has to be a whole number. That means it satisfies the division or multiplication. So then second we have the floating numbers, which is also called as float. So these floats basically mean the decimal numbers. I have just given an example over there of 0.1, 4.5. It can be anything, but it has to be a decimal number. That is what is called as floating point when we are using in our programming language. Third, we have complex numbers. Now your complex numbers are in the form of x plus iy. Okay. So what does this x plus iy mean over here? In this, I is known as the imaginary part. Complex numbers are in the form of p by q, which is neither a proper integer nor it is a decimal number. So those are known as complex numbers. We just have to keep this few things in our mind. Then second, we come to strings. Now as we all know that there are alphabets from A to Z. In programming language, we are calling these alphabets as characters. Why are characters used now? These characters are used to assign some value. Okay. Now let us come to the second thing that I have written over here is strings. So what is string? Okay. So the string is basically a group of characters. Now here, as you all can see, I have written an example saying that single quote ABC or double quote ABC. So to represent a string, we are writing it in between a single quotes or double quotes. Okay. Then now we come to list. This also is a word which we are very familiar. Like list, we know like who is coming. We make many lists. Okay, like what will be our today's schedule and so on. I'm just giving an example. In the similar way, for a computer to understand that it is a thing or it is a number from the same list, we are using it. Okay, so it will be like square bracket 1, 2, 3. It can be anything, but it has to have a square bracket. Then we come to tuple. Now what is tuple? Tuple is similar as list, but it is going to be in the circled bracket. Okay. Then thirdly, we have the dictionary. Now the dictionary means that it has some specific words which will be already inbuilt. So when you just type, already the Python programming knows that word and it is from the dictionary. So we don't have to take much efforts to get that word. So we just have to type dict and then whatever necessary we got to type it over there. Okay. Now, okay. Then next we will be going to the next part, that is variables. Now what are variables? Okay. I'll just read the definition that I have given over here. Okay. So variables are used in program which gives data to the computer for processing. So this is something that is used in the program to give the data. For example, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, let it be anything. Okay. It is just like an alternate name that is given to the memory. Now what does this mean? Now like I want to assign somewhere some value, okay, or I want to perform some addition, okay. So like I can't say like directly 5 plus 2, the computer won't understand that. So we will be using the variables. So how it is used? Initially we have to assign some memory to the variables. Like if I consider a equal to 5 and some other value like b equal to 6, okay, and I want to perform the function of subtraction. So what will I be doing now? Okay, I will be doing a is equal to 5, b is equal to 6, and a minus b we are going to get as minus 1. This is the way the computer is going to understand. Okay. So as we are writing variables, there are a few things that we should remember. Okay. The variable should not match with keywords. Okay. These are the rules. Then the variable name should start with the character, uppercase or lowercase. Now the uppercase means the lower alphabets or the higher alphabets. Okay. Now uppercase. So it is like if you start with capital, then everything should be capital. If it is small, then everything should be small. Okay. Or we can either start it with an underscore. Okay.